Okay, so I think I have everything together. Um had to do a little bit of changes here because having a bit of difficulty with my X account, but that's okay because now we can begin. So without further ado, matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and put this onto the X account now so everybody can come in. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, we are we are in here. We are live. We are ready to get things started. I, of course, am your host, Isaiah Carter, and I am coming to you live from the County of Kings, the borough of Brooklyn, the best borough. And well, let some people tell it, and it's called the People's Republic of Brooklyn. I am going to be, matter of fact, let me just give me 1 second here, whilst I. All right, I'm just putting a note here. I'm just putting a post here. All right, posting, and let's do this. Okay, so uh, lot to talk about tonight. Lots to get into. We've got quite a show. I'm just waiting now for my good friend to join me. And if you haven't noticed it already, yes, I am in Ravens gear because the Ravens had a very big win uh, over the Pittsburgh Steelers last night. Our greatest arch enemy, our uh, the AFC North rivalry is one of the greatest in sports in the NFL. And we just sent that unserious team packing to go to the next round, which is, oh boy, we're playing the Bills next weekend in the divisional. Looking forward to that. That's going to be a great, great game. So now, without further ado, I'm joined by my dog. Yes. Absolutely. This is the first time that I'm doing this here with my boy. This is, of course, Mr. Nostra Chavez at Base Latinos on X. Great guy. Just recently, a new father, in fact.
New father. That's right.
And I want to welcome you to this stream. I'm sorry about the issues that I had earlier with it, but I'm hoping that people will come over here on YouTube to watch it. So, but great to have you tonight, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Isaiah. I appreciate it, man. Hopefully the first of many.
Absolutely.
Let me see if I can. Did you put out a new link or anything? I could maybe.
I did.
I'll retweet it right now. I see it.
Yeah. I did.
There you go.
So
Repost it. Sorry, go
yeah,
on.
I'm trying to get some people in here. It's like no one in here. But then again, so just real quick, like I've had this YouTube channel for years and just never really did anything with it.
Mm.
So now that I'm like streaming and my following is primarily on X.
Yeah.
And it's a little frustrating because
You got to bring everybody over.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I don't see anybody in the chat. I don't see anybody here just yet. But golly, man, we've got a lot to talk about.
Indeed, brother. Indeed.
So
we got the California fires.
Man, who are you telling?
I know you want to talk some some soccer news, some soccer issues we got.
What towards the end? Towards
okay,
the end,
right,
we could talk about that towards the end. But right now, I mean, I guess just like everybody has been expressing over the weekend, thoughts and prayers and all sorts of and condolences to those who have unfortunately perished out there in Los Angeles, California. I've got some people that I know out there, and I want to just I know one of the people that I am cool that I know out there. She's safe. Her dog's safe. I don't know about the other person and her family, but we'll see. But right now, I just want to offer my prayers and my condolences to people who have lost just about everything. I don't think I've ever seen such a gross I don't want to call it incompetence. I really don't want to call this incompetence. Because incompetence, I feel, lets these people off the hook. This was gross negligence from the very beginning. This whole situation just stinks of this disregard for human life. A disregard for human life and a disregard for property. I've got a lot of stuff here, but for those of you who don't know, there's a lot of, well, there are fires, there are wildfires currently burning in the city of Los Angeles in different places. It started with the Pacific Palisades fire towards the middle of last week. Lots of devastation, lots of just acres and like tens of thousands of acres of burnt out land. Little bit of lots of arson that's been happening. Like people are intentionally setting fires. And
yeah, I'm hearing 27,000 acres is what I got.
27,000 acres. Jesus
to give you an idea, it's the island of Manhattan is only 14,000 acres. So,
oh my God,
almost double Manhattan.
Oh my God, that's probably wow. Right? Yeah. That's approaching Brooklyn territory. Jesus
it's a lot,
Christ,
it's a lot of land. Yeah,
and just so because I need to do better preparation here. But I'm gonna get better at this. I promise.
No, me too. I got a couple facts and bulleted and stuff, but yeah.
Well, you can drop it in if you want.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, we'll get to. I mean, we have some. I have some stuff I could talk about. But I mean, with the we could start with the mayor Karen. I mean, I think Newsom probably might be a little bit more to blame, but Karen Bass, the mayor, she was in Ghana during the whole time.
Yeah.
Even though she knew, that there was like extreme fire weather conditions 2 days before, she, and she returned. That was on Saturday, and then she returned on Wednesday finally. And I mean, I get you don't want to move your trip, but it's like you're going to a Ghanaian inauguration. You're the mayor of LA. And that there's like a potential, you should know as the mayor, because Trump talked about it like a year ago. Some other guy was on Rogan like a year ago, or Trump talked about it a couple months ago at least. But actually, I think he did talk about it a couple years ago on Twitter or something. But some guy was on Rogan, I think like at least a year or two ago, talking about how like one day this city's just going to burn to the ground. And it's like, so you have a couple of years at least where somebody seems to know about it. And what do you got here? You're just still like, well, I'm just going to go to a Ghanaian inauguration, the weekend where things might go down. I mean, you just got to skip that, man. I think if you're the mayor, for one thing. And then she, upon returning, apparently she couldn't even tell the residents the name of the website where emergency resources could be found.
Literally said URL.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
At URL.
So,
but it got a little worse.
That's incompetence for sure, and negligence potentially, and honestly, just like a very cavalier attitude about such a environmental risk for so many people. Because LA is so populated, it's crazy.
Yeah, LA is. I've never been to LA.
Me neither. Yeah, me neither.
I was almost. How do I put this? An ex of mine tried to get me to go out there years ago, like tried to get me to just drop everything, which was hilarious. Yeah. But it gets worse. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna share this from Robert Sterling over on X. Not only I'm gonna read this. Not only did Karen Bass break her promise not to travel abroad, not only was she in Africa when the devastating fires broke out, she took 3 taxpayer-funded trips to the Paris Olympics last year. She doesn't just need to be recalled. She needs to be prosecuted.
Yeah.
And this looks like New York Times font.
Yeah.
That pledge has been spectacularly. And Sterling continues, how is that even logistically possible? A nonstop flight from LA to Paris is 11 hours, and the Olympics were only 16 days. Was she flying back and forth every 72 hours? Also, the fact that this is the top story in the New York Times, meaning the left hanging her out to dry. They know she's toast, so they're sacrificing her to protect their preferred candidate
that makes sense.
For 2028.
Yeah.
Boy,
I honestly, I hope they run Newsom in 2028, the way things are going, man.
Oh, my God. I do, too.
He's got a lot running against him, man. A lot.
That greasy, nasty, like, that guy is a psychopath. I am convinced. Yeah. I have never been more convinced that Gavin Newsom is a psychopath until I watched that video.
That old interview you're talking about? That old interview?
Yeah. Well, no, not the old video.
There's a couple interviews I've seen where he was like acting like a real asshole to the journalists. Like they had no right to question him or something like that. I was like, what are you talking about, man? Like I think it was when he was the mayor of San Francisco.
Hold on a second.
And it's like just totally I don't remember exactly what it said. I gotta look at this again, but I just remember coming from away from that being like his guy acts like he's just above everybody and telling journalists that they you have no right to even ask me anything about anything. It's like sure they do. You're a politician.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. No, the video I'm referring to is this one here.
Governor.
I don't think I saw this.
Yeah. Sky News caught Gavin Newsom using a fake phone call to avoid. Yeah.
Of course.
To avoid.
That's like a Kamala move.
A desperate mom and victim of the fires.
He pulled one of those.
Oh, just watch.
Yeah.
Just watch.
What an asshole.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
You got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor.
I got to take this.
My daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer
this piece of shit
do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make.
Can you believe this shit? Can you believe this?
I want to be here when you call the president.
He got caught.
I'm doing that right now.
He got caught.
To immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance. And devastated for you. I'm so sorry.
God.
Especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids. Losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one building.
And you would think,
Trevor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
real quick, you would think that with this chick wearing a mask, and granted, this is one of those instances where I am not going to ridicule mask wearing. It's
smoky,
it's shit, right?
It's smoky.
Smoke.
It might not be
It's
COVID
nasty.
related.
It's shit. It's not. It's no. It's far from COVID related.
Yeah,
But it's smoke. It's nasty. There's a lot of stuff.
But you
going
never
on.
know. You never know.
But we're talking about a Democrat, a Democrat governor who honestly, and look, and look at the, he's got the fucking aviator glasses on. Like he's going for the slick back Biden look. With the gravelly voice. And all.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, how bad was he holding back? He's like, lady, I don't give a flying fuck. I gotta go.
Oh, I bet. Just listen. Just listen.
Getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all.
Good question.
Literally,
Is it going to be different next time?
it has to be.
It has to be.
It does have to be, yeah.
To fill the
Otherwise,
hydrants. I
California
would
will
fill
burn
them
down.
up
Or LA will
personally. You
burn
know
down
that.
to the ground.
I would fill up the hydrants myself. But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not. I see there's water dripping over there, Governor. There's water coming out there. You can use it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to make the call to address everything I can right now, including making sure people
I'd
are
like
safe.
to make sure you do. Can I have an opportunity to at least tell people you're doing what you're saying you're doing? Could somebody have a contact? Can I have your contact information?
Right there.
Oh, shit.
Can you believe that?
I can believe that, actually.
Oh, my Lord in heaven. Oh, my Lord in heaven. Like, I have never in my life seen, and I was telling my fiance this a while ago. Like, oh, really? I wrote this on my Facebook page. I said, I don't think I've ever seen a moment I've never seen a political moment where the Democratic Party almost en masse said, we're fucking done.
They did it with Biden. They did it
I
with
don't
Biden
think-
the night after the debate, I think.
Yeah.
That's the one time. That's one time I remember.
Like, I've never seen a time when the Democratic Party, talking about the party who's supposed to be the party of the little guy, right?
Those
The
are
party
days.
of the middle class,
Mm.
who's pro-union, who is all about a woman's right to choose, all this stuff. All of the things that I aligned myself with
Right.
15 going on 16 years ago when I first became a Democrat.
Mm.
Okay?
Yep, same here.
2024, I voted for Trump.
I did.
I am one of those Biden. I went from Biden. Well, I voted for this is my voter track in the last 3 election cycles. I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. Didn't know any fucking better. Okay. I voted for Biden in 2020 because Biden was selling us normalcy.
Right.
And he was also selling us he was selling an end to the pandemic. And also the third thing that he was selling that a lot of people don't really talk about is he was selling the idea of being a transitional president. You remember that?
Yeah.
He was like, well, I'll only come in for this one term and then I'm gonna, promote someone younger, a different voice to the party and all this other type of stuff. And none of those things materialized.
Yeah, no, I was the same. I mean, I was a lifelong left, liberal, progressive, basically. I first time I think I voted was for Obama in 2008. Is that the year that he got
Mhm,
elected?
mhm.
And I probably would have voted for Kerry. I wasn't really that involved like during Bush and Gore, but I probably would have voted for Kerry. I voted for Obama. I would have voted for Obama again, but I think I just for some reason couldn't do it that time. I would have voted for Hillary, but it was in New York, I think, at the time, in New York City. So I couldn't, I wasn't like registered. So I probably would have voted for Hillary as well, because I was like, man, I don't know about Trump. Maybe he's a fascist and he's crazy. Like I bought the whole media thing. And then
I did too.
2020, I was, even though I was really, by that time, already by like at least 2014, I really hated like the woke shit that was popping off. So I always had that, always hated that shit, always. But I was still like, well, I think Trump's more dangerous. And then by 2020, I was like, COVID looked a little chaotic. And I was like you said, return to normalcy. Biden seemed like a experienced guy, cool-headed guy. He was with Obama. Obama wasn't so bad, whatever. So, and then obviously, I mean, it was obvious that he was getting up there and kind of losing it a little bit already at that point, but he didn't talk much. Like what he had, like they had like one debate. He barely campaigned. He didn't do jack shit. Remember he hung out in his basement. It was COVID, so you're like, okay, whatever. But as soon as he started talking, like that year or the next year, it was clear that he had it was clear that he had some kind of dementia or something going on. And of course, the media lied to our faces. Legacy media lied to our faces over and over again, saying he's like, he's sharp as ever. He has a stutter, whatever, all that nonsense. But yeah, probably a year or two into Biden's administration, I was like, I'm probably going to vote for the next Republican, regardless of who it is. And then after you see what the open border stuff, the transgender stuff, that stuff, I was like, I don't care who's running for the Republican ticket. I mean, I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care who it is. It can't be worse than this. They can't. And then the wars popping off and stuff. It's just like, I mean, I can go on and on. I mean, they're like, and like you said, they're no longer the party of the middle class. Like I'm about helping the middle class. I'm about helping the poor, helping poor people. I'm about everybody trying to keep more of their taxes, stuff like that. And having social safety nets, 100%. I mean, like you can't just not have social safety nets. But the wasteful spending, on woke bullshit, negligence, or just cronyism, or just doing things for their friends, making their friends richer, making them richer. Kamala losing $20 billion. Was it $20 billion? Was it $20 billion? Am I getting
$20 million? Yeah, she's $20 million in the hole.
But she lost $2 billion, wasn't it something like that? Or didn't she lose like
she spent $1.5 billion.
$1.5 billion. Okay.
She spent
I'm 20, and I'm getting the number wrong. Yeah, 20, and she did that in how many months? What was that? Like July, August?
I want to say like 109 days altogether.
$1.5 billion for that bullshit.
$1.5 billion
for that nonsense, and she's in debt. And like, where'd the money go? I'm sure a lot of it went to fucking celebrities to pretend like they support her.
Oh yeah.
But where else did it go? I bet you a lot of it probably went to her or the Democrats are just pocketing that.
Yeah, man.
It's absurd. It's so corrupt.
It is absurd.
And then they don't have the money for, and I'm sure a lot of that went to California. They don't have the money for water or fire hydrants. I mean, they should have had a desalination shit years ago.
You're right. The Pacific Ocean,
even if it trickles the water in.
The Pacific Ocean is right there.
That shit exists. The technology exists.
That's the one thing that's crazy to me, right? Because
bananas.
I remember, let me see. Back in 2012, I went on a honeymoon. I went on my honeymoon in my second marriage, right? And we went to Ocho Rios and we went to Grand Cayman. Okay. Grand Cayman had we drove past, like on our way to a landmark.
Where's
my ex-wife and I?
Where are those places?
In the Caribbean.
Okay.
Yeah. Ocho Rios is in the northern side of Jamaica. It's like it's northwest. It's like the northern side, close to the west. So it's like northwest. It's not as far west as Montego Bay, but so what I'm saying is, So what I'm saying is, you
Good driving
had
pass.
desalinization plants that we drove past on Grand Cayman. Where
California can't afford that? California can't make that? Really? LA?
LA of all fucking places.
Don't they have like the 5th largest GDP in the world, California?
5th largest GDP in the world.
Newsom's
They
always
have-
bragging about it. Like he had anything to fucking do with it.
5th largest GDP in the world. 40 million people, different climates. We're talking about a state that produces wine, a state that produces I think they do hydroelectric power. Okay, like they've got a lot. They've got a lot of vines in different industries. And you mean to fucking tell me that all this economic power, all of these so-called smart people who are in charge of the city and the state government, and the only thing that these people have managed to do is make the state easier for child trafficking to take place. Okay, I got a nice little article by Abigail Schreier. Okay, that went into that deep in depth. Okay, but then on top of that, the reservoirs were dry. Like one of the reservoirs was dry as a bone. I want to play matter of fact, let me just look for it real quick. I want to play Michael Schallenberger's video, if that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's he's got a lot of good information. I think it's like, again, and like we said, like this is on Rogan like a year or two ago, something like that, where a guy was saying like this is going to all go up in flames, but there's ways to prevent things. Like you don't have to just be like, well, okay, I guess that's what's going to happen. It's like, it's not like the super volcano where you can't stop that shit. Like it's like, just there's things you can do to stop a fire. Like you said, like desalination plants, they should have this. Like they have the best, some of the best engineers in the world, I assume, are in California.
Yeah, man.
Some of the smartest technologists in the world, the smartest people in the world. Jamaica, as you said, has this. Why can't California? Why can't LA have this when they know that they might just go up in flames? It almost seems intentional or something. You know what I mean? It's like why else would that happen? A lot of people knew about it. Rogan talked about it on a freaking podcast that has like 10 million listeners.
Yeah.
How does Newsom not know about this? How does the mayor not know about this? How does the fire department not know about this? What the fuck's going on?
Dude, I wish I could tell you. So I'm gonna read.
Criminal.
It is. I'm gonna read Schallenberger's post here. This is from Michael Schallenberger. This was written earlier this morning, 11:22 a.m. I'm quoting here. The lack of water available to firefighters in Los Angeles was unavoidable, say experts and the media. Hydrants ran dry because the fires were just too big and the water system too old. Even if the large Santa Ynez reservoir had been filled with water, it likely would not have made a difference, they say.
Okay.
But there are good reasons to believe that it would have made a very significant difference. The Santa Ynez reservoir is just a few thousand feet away from where the massive Pacific Palisades fire started and is the second largest of LA's 10 major active reservoirs. I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna let the man Schallenberger speak for himself. If you can hear it, copy.
Yep, I can hear it.
All right, here we go.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Schallenberger for Public. The lack of water available to firefighters in Los Angeles was unavoidable.
So Isaiah, just real quick.
Hydrants ran dry because the fires were just too big. The water system too old.
Hold on a second. Yeah, buddy.
I'm hearing an echo.
Oh,
I don't know if that's just on my end, but I should have.
No. It's not. Hold on a second.
I heard it in the last video too.
You know what? I think I know what it is. Hold on. Because let's do sound. Let's try that now. Okay.
Even if the large Santa Ynez reservoir had been filled with water, it likely would have.
All right, so let me start over again. Here we go.
Hey, everybody, it's Mike Schellenberger for Public. The lack of water available to firefighters in Los Angeles was unavoidable, say experts in the media. Hydrants ran dry because the fires were just too big and the water system too old. Even if the large Santa Ynez Reservoir had been filled with water, it likely would not have made a difference, they say. But there are reasons to believe that it would have made a significant difference. The Santa Ynez Reservoir is just a few thousand feet away from where the massive Pacific Palisades fire started, and it's the second largest of LA's 10 major active reservoirs. Now, it is too early to say precisely how much of a difference it would have made. And there's no debate that LA's water system is antiquated. It was never created to battle so many different fires at once. The use of so many hydrants and the destruction of so many service lines to private residences resulted in a major loss of water and thus of water pressure. But the Santa Ynez Reservoir was uphill from the Pacific Palisades fire, and the firefighters doing battle with it would likely have had first access to its 117 million gallons of water before other firefighters below them. And that would likely have kept water pressure high. While the media is downplaying the significance of losing the Santa Ynez Reservoir, a senior water utility executive has come forward to tell public that 117 million gallons is a huge amount of treated water storage to have available for firefighting. Massive, maybe one of the biggest treated water storage reservoirs on the whole West Coast. The person I spoke directly with has worked as a senior professional in a California water utility for 2 decades. And crucially, the person told me that the LADWP should never have drained the Santa Ynez Reservoir of water in the first place. Instead, it should have kept it full for emergency use and only drained it to repair a torn cover after the fire risk was far lower and after LADWP had a contractor under contract and ready to perform the necessary repairs.
If you're not already a subscriber to Public, please subscribe now to support
Subscribe.
our
Subscribe
award-winning
to Mike.
investigative
Can-
journalism, our defense of free speech.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, man, the way they spin it, man, it's hilarious. And the media protects them as usual. You know, they always want to be contrarians or anything conservatives or moderates say that puts Democrats into any kind of negative light. But yeah, it's unbelievable. It's like, of course, the water. Not only could the water, be of use, but it's like there's got to be other stuff they could have done to just treat the area, whether it's cleaning out some of the things that are flammable, being on top of that. I mean, look. They needed, as we know, California spent so much money on bullshit, and it's like when you have such an existential threat, and arguably your most important city, most populated. It's got to be the most populated city, I believe, in LA, in California. It's like that should be number one priority, right? Like that's got to be number one. It's public safety, not having people's homes burned into a hellscape. That's got to be, I think, pretty much number one priority. Instead, you got Newsom spending $22 billion to combat homelessness since he took office, and there's been a 3% increase in homelessness last year. It's like, what the fuck did they do with that money that the problem got worse? That, even though homelessness is an issue there, it's like that all of that money should have went to, hey, let's make sure we don't allow parts of Los Angeles, giant swaths of Los Angeles, to burn to the ground. That should have been obvious. And there's plenty of things you could do if you have some clever people together. You put a lot of money behind it. There's plenty of things you could do to make sure that even if there's probably going to be some fires, but it would be contained to little smaller locations. It's not everybody's house is going to burn. It's like maybe only small parts of certain forests or whatever, or parts of the mountains burn. Maybe a few houses burn. That's okay. That sucks, but that's a lot better than an entire giant neighborhood burning and potentially other parts, right?
Yeah.
So why would you not, why wouldn't that not be the number one priority?
Because it's not about, I read something, matter of fact, let me just, because Schellenberger had something else. And I want to make sure, let me just go to his.
Like another thing Newsom had, he made, he made California the first state to have its Medicaid program cover illegal immigrants. And like that's not the worst thing in the world to do. I could see like why that's nice to do. A lot of illegal immigrants are good, are good Americans. They help America's economy. They do a lot of service work, whatever. They're good people. So I get it. It's not like I'm not trying to make him look like he's a terrible person for doing that. But that's still, you still have to be loyal to the taxpayers. You know, the people spending the tax dollars to protect them. That's number one.
These aren't okay.
You know,
You're talking about. Hold on a second. You're talking about.
He said just one more thing, Isaiah. They said that costs the Medicaid for immigrants costs Californians $6.5 billion a year. You know, so I mean, that could have went towards not burning the fucking city down.
You would think.
Anyways, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No. So the population of Los Angeles is 3.8 million, but it's spread out. You know what I mean? It's spread out. It's Los Angeles is one of those cities that did not do it's like Houston, where you know how New York grew up.
Mhm.
So we've got a lot of grid streets and avenues in Manhattan,
skyscrapers.
Yeah, we built up because of the limited space.
Right.
LA,
It's spread out.
Houston,
Yeah.
Chicago, even Philly, all spread out.
Mhm.
Okay, Baltimore, same thing, spread out.
Yeah.
Rather than spreading upward. So, and that's and that's historical, right?
And a lot of it's because Manhattan's an island.
Exactly.
And then you got a little bit of the surrounding area that's part of the territory. It's not the biggest area, New York City, but especially Manhattan, it's like that's where everything was going on, and people were just like, well, like you said, we got plenty of space up here in the sky.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Which brings us actually to our next topic, which is a lot closer to home here, and that is congestion pricing. I have been on this for a while now. Congestion pricing it's something that has been, they've tried to bring this in to New York. Like Andrew Cuomo, when he was governor, he supported it, but then he backed off of it. But then once he resigned or was forced out by
the Democrats,
left-leaning
Democrats,
by the leftist mean girls of Albany, right?
Yep, exactly.
A bunch of white leftist women who made accusations against Cuomo,
mm-hmm.
and got him out of office over it. And Tish James helped. So he's actually thinking about running for mayor again, running for mayor of New York. And I'm actually afraid that he might win, but that's just me.
Cuomo's running for mayor?
There's a lot of speculation that Cuomo's going to run for mayor.
I mean, I will say this. Do you think he'd probably be one of the better Democrats to run? No? Especially how Democrats are now.
Well, I think if you want my honest opinion about Cuomo, before we get into congestion pricing,
because I feel like he's probably been a little moderated and almost leaning a little bit right in certain issues because of his experience with Me Too and all that shit, and getting, like you said, the Albany mean girls coming for him.
Yeah, getting Mean Girl definitely helped.
But I don't know much else about him, to be honest.
So Andrew Cuomo is the oldest son of
Mario,
one of the biggest political families in New York.
Yep.
His brother used to be Chris Cuomo used to be on CNN for many years until he got ousted from CNN. It's like, honestly, it's like there's a theme. Okay, all of the moderate Democrats who would not have gotten on board, who were not willing to get with the program. I'm talking in total. You notice how they were all forced out?
Yeah.
as much of as like I can't even say that Cuomo was this massive leftist because he wasn't.
It didn't seem like it, but I don't
He
know.
never
Yeah.
struck me as like one of these. He never struck me as one of these massive leftists. Like he's not a Gavin Newsom.
No.
He's not a Gavin Newsom. He's not a J.B. Pritzker. He's not a Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago. And they get ready to force him out too.
Yeah, he's hearing it.
Yeah, no, because
Deservedly
well, yeah,
so.
J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, a couple of days ago said that he hardly talks to Brandon Johnson. Imagine the governor of the state of Illinois not having regular conversations with the largest urban center in your state.
Crazy.
I mean, but
make it make sense, man.
But anyways, so for those of you who might not be familiar with what's going on, New York City, a couple days ago has, as of January 5th, which was last Sunday, congestion pricing is in effect. Basically, and let me go to the MTA website because they'll have all of this information. Basically, what's happened is Manhattan, south of 60th Street. If you want to drive through there, you got to pay $9. $9 if you're a regular car, okay? And yeah, $9 for regular vehicles is more for others. I am going to let me just put this on here because this is just despicable. Because they're selling congestion pricing hard over here.
Nickel and diamond, man.
Oh yeah, but like congestion pricing, it's literally like congestion pricing will unlock a better New York. Yeah, like this is literally like the activists, like these out of state activists wrote this shit. It's time for a city that moves faster, breathes easier, and works better. Congestion pricing will dramatically reduce traffic in the congestion relief zone, transforming the area from gridlocked to unlocked. Who fucking wrote this?
I love how you channeled your inner Becky there, but well done.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So the toll rates.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So your toll rates, a type of vehicle, $9 during peak hour for passenger and small commercial vehicles. Paying with a valid Easy Pass is $9 during the peak period and $2.25 during overnight period when there is less congestion. They basically, they turned Manhattan into a. And then small trucks, single unit trucks, and some buses must pay a toll of $14.40 and $3.60 during overnight. Large trucks, multi-unit trucks like tractor trailers, and tour buses pay a toll of $21.60 during the peak period and $5.40 during the overnight period. Taxis and for-hire services, for-hire vehicles. Instead of paying the daily toll, taxis and for-hire vehicles licensed with the New York City Taxi and Licensed Limousine Commission are eligible for a smaller per-trip charge paid by the passenger for each trip to, from, within, or through the congestion relief zone. This is abominable.
It is. It's crazy. I mean, how are you going to you live in the city, you pay taxes in the city, you pay taxes to the state, and you're just to drive through your own city that you live in, you got to pay a $9 toll. It's like
it's sadistic. Honestly, it's sadistic. And what makes me so angry, what has made me so angry about congestion pricing, it's like the very idea of it is abominable. Okay. Like you said, taxes are already high as shit here in New York City. You already have to deal with, like, it's 8.875% is our state sales tax. We get taxed on everything. Income tax is through the fucking roof here. Okay? Buying a home is almost out of the fucking question in New York City.
Basically, yeah.
Okay?
Unless you're rich as fuck.
Unless you're, and right, exactly.
Or
Unless you're
maybe
rich,
if you live in the very outskirts of the 5 boroughs, maybe you'll find something.
Yeah.
Or something that's like a slumlord, like decayed apartment or something. Maybe you could buy that.
So we are already nickeled and dimed to death in this city. And the fact that they decided we're going to, like, and it was these progressives, okay? These far left assholes, these nonprofits, because New York City has such a nonprofit addiction. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We have, like, New York City has one of the largest nonprofit infrastructures I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not just talking about the homeless, right? Like that's for another time. I'm talking about something where city council, New York City Council gets a couple $1 million a year in a slush fund, basically to do whatever they need to for the, either for the good of their citizens or for the good of their office, whatever. Okay. And what's incredible to me is they'll take some of that money that they get and they'll give it to transportation alternatives. I'm listing some of the nonprofits here. Transportation Alternatives, whose executive director I had a run-in with tonight. Okay. Riders Alliance, another one. I'm trying to think of Open Streets, Open Project or something like that. I can't remember the name of the third one, but they're like 3 big ones. They're all getting paid. They all get money from this one guy named Mark Gorton. Mark Gorton is a shareholder in Lyft.
Let's see.
So how about that? So in essence, so what's happened is in fact, I'll show you, because I want to just look at one other thing real quick. Let me go back to X. Close it. Hold on, just bear with me 1 second. I'm pulling it up here. Yeah, get that shit out of here. Hold on. New York Post. Hold on. I'm looking for something that I want to. What? I don't want to see that. Steelers planning to keep Mike Tomlin. Well, of course they would. Sorry, I'm scrolling through New York Times' feed. Let me just do this. NY Post congestion pricing. Okay. They've got a lot of stuff. Matter of okay. So here we go. I found it. Okay. Let me make sure I'm sharing this to. Wait a minute. Share this tab. Here we go. There we go. Booyah. Come on. Why is it going slow? There we go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen. So this was written This is written on January 4th. Uber and Lyft is pushing for New York congestion pricing and stand to make a killing. Uber and Lyft poured millions of dollars into efforts to legalize congestion, and they stand to be among the biggest winners. Uber spent $2 million alone from 2015 to 2018 to promote congestion, roughly $1 million of which went to some of the city's top lobbyists, the company confirmed to the Post in 2019. Since then, both Uber have continued to hire top lobbyists to persuade key state officials to the controversial levy, including Governor Hochul and the Metropolitan Transportation Authority records show. It's unclear how much the company spent lobbying for congestion pricing because the lobbyists hired worked on multiple issues and officials' records don't break it down. The rideshare companies declined to provide the Post a breakdown or even an estimate of its lobbying expenses. Lyft, which also owns the City Bike program, has also directly contributed to polls who have been pushing the polarizing scheme. Lyft poured over $125,000 into state campaigns since 2020, including $18,500 the past 4 years to Hochul, who pushed it forward after a brief pause near the election, records show.
Indeed.
This is the total tolls. Look at this. This is ridiculous. All tolls for two axle vehicles at peak times. Look at the Lincoln Tunnel, $22.06.
Jeez.
So
Sorry, Jersey.
Well, that's what. But check this out. Exactly what people said was going to happen. Okay. People said that that people were going to get double dipped. Okay.
Yeah.
People were going to get double dipped from the Port Authority and the state of New York itself. Okay. So what they did was, the total state in all of its benevolence decided that, if you're coming from New Jersey, we'll give you $3 off. So instead of $9, it'll be $6 if you're coming from the Lincoln Tunnel or the Holland Tunnel. They are cracking people upside the head. Okay? And the people who are loving it, the only ones who are loving this shit are wealthy, white leftists who already hated congestion pricing, who already hated cars, okay, and are basically trying to stuff. They're trying to do two things here. They're trying to take cars off the road, which they've done. They've done like this. Like there are parts now. I'm gonna sometime tomorrow. I actually want to go into some of the parts of Manhattan to see it for myself. Okay. But like the area around the Holland Tunnel, the Lincoln Tunnel, like you could drive right in because people are voting with their feet and they're voting with their wallet because they didn't get a chance to fucking in the ballot box. All of this stuff went in unelected. Okay? No one was asked. This passed the legislature. No one was told about it. Didn't go to a referendum. The people were blindsided. The polls that were done on it, 2/3 of people polled said, no, we don't, like, no.
Hey, bro.
And they did it anyway.
Dude, a Democrat? No. Dude, you're wrong, man. The Democrats, they're saving democracy, man. The Democrats are saving democracy. So
Christ almighty.
doesn't, I mean, that doesn't include actually listening to what people want, what the citizens want, but
Oh, never.
but
never.
they're saving democracy, though. You know that.
Saving democracy,
That's
whether,
what CNN
whether
told
we
me.
ask for it or not.
That's what CNN and Washington Post and New York Times told me.
Saving democracy. Imagine that. Saving democracy. No. You're trying to save your fucking hegemony. You're trying to save your nexus on power. You people, listen. I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna go off right now because
I'm not going to stop you.
Like the Democrats did this. And what makes me so angry about congestion pricing is, hold on. I gotta take this off. Take my hat off. Fuck this.
It's getting too hot, man.
Okay. The fact of the matter is this. The Democratic Party, as I said before, and this is the theme of the whole show. The Democratic Party have said, fuck you.
Oh, yeah. That's the main thing they
Do
said.
you hear me, ladies and gentlemen? I want you to hear this good. The Democratic Party, and I don't know if this will get past YouTube's algorithms. I don't know if it's, well, it might get past Instagrams, but I'm telling you right now, the Democratic Party has said, fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
They were rejected at the ballot box.
That should have been Kamala's campaign slogan.
I know, right? The
Kamala
Democrats-
Harris, fuck you.
Exactly.
Because fuck you.
This party said, we are done. We are done pretending.
I can't take it.
We are done pretending like we care about you. We are done pretending that we are interested in anything resembling governance. We are done pretending that we want to do anything but keep these jobs because we want to maintain our rule and our power over you. And the fact that you voted for this orange bastard, who told you, we told you that Donald Trump was a threat to democracy. We told you that Donald Trump was literally Hitler.
Yeah.
And you not only didn't believe us, you not only did you see through did you see our efforts to get him to lock him in prison, you saw them as lawfare, and you voted for him again.
Shame on us.
How could you do this?
Shame on us, man. Bunch of
That is
fascists.
exactly how the Democratic Party are acting.
Oh, yeah.
The Democratic Party are acting with an immunity that screams narcissistic injury.
Entitlement, too.
I have never seen anything like this. And the fact that, bro, and I'm going to get into some of the shit that comes from these people, that comes from the congestion pricing, from proponents of congestion pricing. Okay? So the very first night of congestion pricing, and I think I showed this to you. I showed this to you a couple of like, I think earlier this week. You had this. You had a bunch of shit libs,
Oh yeah.
a bunch of shit libs parked right out front.
Shit libs.
Shit libs. This is right over by. This is on Lex and 59th.
Oh boy. Yep.
This is around. Yeah, this is on Lexington Avenue, and you had this guy Gersh Kuntzman, who is a real bastard. By the way, that guy's a real bastard. You had people in there from Transportation Alternatives and all these other places just gloating. I've never in my life seen all like you see this, right? Gloating over congestion pricing.
Well, as long as they're happy, man.
Gloating about how gloating at how happy they are to have done something like listen to this shit and notice it's open season on firefighters. It's open season on public service workers. Because look at this. NYC bike lanes. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. Congestion pricing is a slippery slope for the FDNY. If the government can charge firefighters for simply driving their vehicles in Manhattan, what's next? Pretty soon they'll be ticketing firefighters for parking on the sidewalk and covering their license plates. The sneering contempt. The sneering contempt. Look at this. I'm working on cleaning up the chronically blocked sidewalks around NYPD 78th precinct. I'm requesting that NYC Sanitation remove the illegal graffiti parking lines on the sidewalk. Every personal vehicle parked on the sidewalk has been photographed and reported to Internal Affairs. Who fucking does that, bro? Who fucking does that?
Hey, NYC bike lanes, man.
Yeah,
That's what they do. That's what they
tunnels
like to
for
do.
people. Look at this shit. I believe that New Jersey residents deserve free access to Manhattan. Let's convert one of these Holland Tunnel vehicle lanes into a lane for cyclists.
How are they going to do that?
I don't know. And I don't even think they know.
Oh,
This
man.
asshole here just gave my first tour in downtown Manhattan post-congestion pricing for 20 of my students. I already supported the policy as a citizen, but as a literal street educator,
Literal.
I can't tell you I can't tell you how relieving it is not to have cars competing with me in our soundscape and streetscape.
What the fuck's a street educator?
Yeah, this guy, Assad from New York City, public New York City historian, urbanist, organizer. I once sued the NYPD for spying on me and now run a walking tour company.
I see. He's a walking tour guy. Okay.
A walking tour guide. And apparently he has two he's got two residences. He lives both here in New York City and he lives in California. Go.
Wow. Okay.
Notice stuff these say, no, like, come on now. Like this underscore. I don't know why. Yeah, the connection's kind of slow.
Yeah, you're lagging a bit too.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a way to fix that. I don't know if you have to close out.
Let me see.
Close out tabs or what? I don't know.
Yeah.
Have I been lagging at all or no?
No, you've been fine.
Okay.
No, I'm telling you, the issue is
internet, maybe?
The issue is my internet. The internet sucks. The internet, the one that I've got, it just stinks. I need to start shopping for better connection.
Yeah.
Oh God, let me just. let me see here. So hold on. So something I've noticed, right? First off, and I have not seen a single black person in support of congestion pricing.
Why do you think that is?
Because we fucking broke. I don't fucking know. Listen.
I mean, who wants to who would support paying an extra $9 every time you drive up the fuck uptown or downtown?
Real people do not like this. Real people do not support this. And real people do not support getting thrown under the bus like this from their government. First off, there are no exceptions for police, for firefighters, for EMS, for transit employees. Money's supposed to be going to New York City Transit. This is money that's supposed to be coming in to New York City Transit to fix like for the capital for extra capital. But the problem is the MTA is a black hole of spending. It's a black hole of spending. The money goes in and then all of a sudden they look up and they need more.
Yeah.
It happens every single time.
That sounds familiar.
The fact that, but here's what kills me. The fact that you can't pay a train operator, a conductor, you can't give your road crews, the people who actually have to fucking deal with all of the horrors of the subway. And I want to talk about that for a second.
And that's the one thing I wanted to mention too. I forgot about that. It's like, they want to, make you pay for this. Or you can just take public transit. You can just go take the train. It's like people getting lit on fucking fire on the train. People are being harassed. People getting in your face. You got homeless people. I remember when I was living in New York, like there's every other car, not every other car, but like there's always almost one car where there's the homeless person who smells terrible. And you don't want to I'm not trying to make fun of homeless people or be whatever, but it's like it's not pleasant to be paying 100 and what was I paying back then, 130 a month or something like that, 140, something like that.
Yeah, for a 30-day unlimited.
Yeah, for a 30-day unlimited
Metro card.
For an unlimited Metro. And it was and you go in there and it's like if you, God forbid, you get stuck in there with one of these guys who smells like they rolled in urine for about 20 years straight, and it's like it's brutal. And it's like these are the kind of things, and then people are getting pushed in front of the train. It's like that is not a good alternative.
Well, I'm going to say this. This is what happens when you have people you have decision makers who have never owned a business in their lives. They've never built anything. We are talking about people who have been bureaucrats most of their fucking lives.
They spend other people's money. That's all they do.
Exactly. These are people who have specialized in spending other people's money
for their own advancement,
for their own advancement,
their own
for
wealth,
their own fucking purposes, for their own wealth.
Yep.
They have absolutely no idea as to how to build value in something,
and they cloak it in virtue signaling.
It is not. I don't care what anybody says. Okay. And I'm going to just say this. Fuck every single one of these leftist, homeless, industrial complex people. Because they're the ones who have they're the ones who have normalized this shit, where they have actually said that it's more humane to leave these people in their filth and squalor. It is more humane to leave people on the streets they're at They're helping. They're respect these people. Communists. They love using words that were all. They have their own communist meaning. Okay. They think it's more humane to leave a person on the street, to take pisses on to take a piss on the old subway trains, and the conductor's got to take the whole fucking train car out of service. Okay, like doing stuff that actually torment riders. About a year or so ago, this is actually a couple of years ago, I was on my way home from playing soccer at on the east side of town. I was in Manhattan. A new field. I catch a 4 train home because I live in Brooklyn, and people, everybody's in the train car, and they're sitting all around, tending like it's not even there, a pile of human shit on the floor.
Jesus Christ.
No one called it in. No one told the conductor. No one said anything to the train operator because they know it's gonna, because and I'm sure, see, this is that typical selfish transplant shit. And even native New Yorkers do this too. Okay. They won't say anything because people are just trying to go the fuck home.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are just trying to go home. So of course they'll put up with, if they're tired, if they're worn down, if they've had a rough day, then they're gonna put up with this, and they shouldn't fucking have to. I personally told the conductor to call control, and the conductor had to isolate that car because it's a health hazard. It's a biological health hazard. Now when that train finally gets to the terminal,
somebody can clean it.
Car cleaners got to take care of it. Okay. You have, like we talked about before, a lady was set on fire by a Guatemalan illegal. Okay. You've got all sorts of other shit going on in the system. You've had couple of like you've had debris falling from the road, falling from the ceiling of the stations onto the road beds. You've had you've had stabbings that have occurred. You've had, like, there have been 2 stabbings, like one was a stabbing, the other was a knife fight right there at Grand Central. Where the 4, 5, 6, and 7 trains, you go, like the 4, 5, 6, the 7, the shuttle to Times Square, and Metro North is up, Metro, and now Long Island Railroad. One of the primary East Side transit hub, and there's like 2 stabbings in less than a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's out of control, and like to your point too, it's like, it shouldn't be accepted. I think we've accepted this for too long. Like, I remember, I was living in New York for 4 years, New York City, from like 2016 to 2020. It's there. It was not uncommon to see some of this stuff and see people getting harassed and bullied, and also just train delays because something bad happened and stuff. And it's like, it smells like shit in the fucking in the the station itself. So it smells like, piss in the train cars, homeless people just taking up the whole thing, people getting harassed, robbed, like who knows what women have to go through, and then you have, I'm sure it's gotten worse since then. I haven't been in New York that many times since then because I've been back in Connecticut, but I have been a couple times in New York, at least like once or twice a year. But I mean, since COVID, since defund the police, since all of these immigrants coming in, and then New York City using, I guess, taxpayer dollars one way or another, whether it's state or federal, to pay pay immigrants to live here. And then not all of them are good people. Not all of them are just honest people. A lot of them are committing crimes, right? And I don't know, even if it's like 1%, that's still a shitload of people.
Yeah.
So and in any case, it's like, why are we paying for these people when this needs to get fixed? There needs to be better security. Maybe you got to figure out a way to get homeless people from just like sleeping on these cars and making them disgusting, and definitely need to figure out a way to protect people. That's again, like, just like we said with LA, it's like, MTA's got a lot of money coming in. The state and city have a lot of money coming in. Why are you not fixing this? Like, how is this acceptable? It wasn't, it wasn't like this decades ago in different times, different eras.
It wasn't even like this 5 years ago, dude.
True. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't so bad.
Like,
it wasn't that bad.
Always,
back then.
you always had, there was always an element of homelessness. Like, if you go out on the E train that runs between Manhattan and
I took that every day. Yeah. I took that every day from Jackson Heights. Yeah.
Right. So after
to all the way down to World Trade Center. So I was there the whole way.
Well, yeah, it's underground.
Yeah.
And at night, it's local through Queens. It's a lot of fucking stops between like from Court Square, 23rd Street, all the way out to Jamaica Center. It's a lot of stops.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was like work being done out there. So sometimes trains were delayed. Sometimes there were backups. You know what I'm saying? So like, for homeless people, the E train was a great place to get, what you could call a good night's sleep. I remember when I first moved up here, and I saw that for myself. Okay. And it was disturbing, because it's like it's a 10-car train, and you've got like 3-4 homeless people per car.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's happened. I've seen 3 before, I think, even like it just taking over the benches and stuff. And it's just like, and like, again, like, you don't want to be that person where it's like, I don't care about homeless people. I don't care about what they have to go through and all that. And they've had a terrible life and all that, which I'm sure is true. That's the case. And it's very sad. But at the same time, these are paying taxpayers, not just taxpayers, but people paying for MTA services, people who have to pay now to drive uptown and downtown. So they're forced to do this. And it's like, this is not a product that's worth that money.
It's not.
This is like abysmal.
Yeah. And that's the part that people just don't.
Where's
care.
the respect for the consumer?
There's none.
The taxpayer, for the residents, the workers.
It's literally, it's just simply all these activists is like, we got what we want, so fuck you. Take the train.
Yeah, that's the attitude.
That is exactly the attitude. I have never seen any. If you don't like this $9, if you don't like this $9, this $9 we're gonna take from you, you could just take the train. They love saying that. Just shut up and take the train.
Mm-hmm. It's like learn the code,
right? Yeah, but mind you, and matter of fact, I want to get into this because I want you to see this. Some of the nastiest fucking people. Okay, some of the craziest shit. Like, most of the support for congestion pricing has come from people who do not live in New York. Take, for example, this fucking guy.
That is the worst.
M. Nolan Gray, the once and future city planner. Such frosciagine. Is
that Italian?
Yeah. Senior director of CA YIMBY, Kentuckian AICP. This fucking guy, again, hick lib, gentrifying piece of shit. And you're tweeting about New York City business from Los Angeles?
I know. The fuck, like, what? Stay the fuck in the West Coast. Figure out the
Stay
fires in LA.
home.
Yeah.
Save your home.
Figure out the
What
fires.
are you doing
if
over
he's-
here in our business?
If he's still got a home,
Right?
Yeah, who knows? That's really that's actually a possibility that this guy's house burned down or
But it gets
apartment.
worse. It gets worse. I like so he's not the only one. All right. Here's one of the biggest ones. Right? Let me show you this fucking guy. You've probably seen him because I've been tweeting him a lot. Andy Bonow. Simple truths about city planning and transportation. When I'm not engineering safe and healthy streets, I'm running my mouth about it. And
Ooh.
I'm doing it from the capital of the Confederacy. I'm doing this from Richmond, Virginia.
Oh man, this guy's sassy, huh?
Richmond, Virginia is in the middle of fucking nowhere.
I'm running
Richmond,
my
Virginia
mouth
is
about
Richmond is the capital of the Commonwealth. Okay, the Commonwealth of Virginia. Richmond is 3 hours away from DC. Richmond is a significant distance away from the Hampton Roads area. So like Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, all that. Like
I've been over at Norfolk.
Norfolk,
Yeah.
like all that.
Yeah.
Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake,
Yeah.
all that. Like the Hampton, that area is called Hampton Roads. It's gorgeous. I love Virginia Beach, by the way. Absolutely loved it. I went down there like 11 years ago.
Is that the beach that's in Norfolk?
The beach is in Virginia Beach.
Yeah, I've been over there too. It's nice. I was there like during I think it was like colder out though, but it was nice over there.
Yeah, Virginia Beach is fucking lit. I love Virginia Beach. But this guy's in Richmond.
So he's talking about New York a lot, or what? He's talking about
Yeah, dude. Look through his page. His page is full of
Why?
It's full of New York City. It's
It has
all
nothing
up
to do
in
with
our
him.
fucking business
It has nothing to do with him. Why is he involved with this?
because it's
Why
all
would he be
part of a
involved?
larger project. The issue is never the issue. The
Hmm.
issue is the revolution, sir. The issue is always the revolution.
Gee whiz. Look at this guy.
Give you another example of fucking guy of this shit. This guy, this one's really been nasty. This a nasty one right here. Big _ pedestrian. Believer in the idea of America, cities built for people are safe, beautiful, and prosperous.
Oh, I mean, I don't know about New York's that right now, but okay.
It's not.
I don't know if it's safe.
I've lived in
Oftentimes
New-
it's not beautiful. Probably not very prosperous for a lot of people either.
I'm not gonna take this. I'm not gonna say that New York City is not beautiful. There are still parts of New York City that are absolutely beautiful. Like I took that picture, the picture in the background. I took that from Brooklyn Promenade. That's one of my. That is one of
Don't
my
get me wrong.
favorite
I mean,
places.
The skyline's beautiful. New York's got a lot of beautiful areas, but there's a lot of areas that aren't so beautiful right now, and that's somebody's fault. You know,
It is someone's fault.
Yeah, so
It is someone's fault.
it could be beautiful.
It could be even more so.
There's plenty
But
of
the
cities that are they're big cities that are very clean. I heard Tokyo is very clean. You know, there's just plenty of cities, and Tokyo's huge population. You know, New York City could be more like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and again, it's like, oh, I saw what. Oh, here's one. Here's one. Yeah. Yeah. So there's also a real estate component to this because the developers want like to make nothing but apartments. They want to make apartments everywhere. Luxury apartments that nobody can fucking afford.
Oh,
So-
foreigners can afford it. Foreign,
Yeah.
rich people.
So
Yeah.
here's this lady, Catherine Cully. Okay. Again, another nasty one when it comes to congestion pricing, pushing it heavy, and she's tweeting from Portland, Maine, bro. You mean you ain't got nothing else better to do? You got nothing else better to do but tweet about tweet about congestion pricing in New York City. This is all part of a larger project.
No, it's interesting. I mean, how do these people get involved? That's what I don't understand.
I don't know.
Like if they're so far away, it's just really isn't unless they're like, I don't know, unless they come to New York City all the time, they have an apartment there or something. They're planning on moving there or something like that. It's like I don't know understand what
dude,
somebody from Richmond or somebody from Portland, Maine or LA, like what does it matter about congestion pricing? Why are they even involved in that whatsoever?
Because again, it's part of a it's part of a larger project. It's part of a much larger project.
So you think what are they doing? So they're seeing like their fellow transportation hobbyists, I guess, or whatever, leftist transportation commissars and journalists and influencers, and they're like, you know what, I'm going to support them. And is that what they're doing? I don't know.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to turn. This is all part of a much larger project. Okay. They're trying to limit people's freedom of movement. They're very triggered by cars. A lot of them are very triggered by cars. If you listen to some of these people, okay, they are disgusted.
Is that what it is?
Disgusted by cars.
So the big anti-car movement?
Big anti-car movement. These people could give a fuck about cars. They don't want people. They don't want people. They hate freedom of movement. You got to remember something. Communists despise being able to move around on your own, outside of their control.
Right.
If they can't control how you move, they will do everything they can to restrict your movement. It's that simple. And this is also, and what's the other thing? What's the other thing that communists don't like besides freedom of movement?
Oh, I know they don't like freedom of speech.
Oh, they hate that. They hate that.
Freedom of thought.
They don't. They want to be able to shoot you without being able. They want to be able to pew you without getting pewed themselves.
Freedom of press. They're not that into.
They don't want the freedom of press. No, but there's one thing in particular, and it feeds into their hatred of cars.
Well, I know they don't. If you're talking about the environmentalists. The environmentalist communists over there.
No. Well, remember,
because I know they don't like the gas.
I'm quoting James Lindsay. The issue is never the issue. The issue is always the revolution. So, if you know this, think of what it's. I'll give you a hint. In Das Kapital, Karl Marx said that when asked to define communism, he defined it thusly, and it involved one thing: private property.
Ah, right. Yeah. Indeed.
Communism is the positive transcendence of private property as human self-estrangement. The whole idea of, I'm quoting Marx. When you begin to understand I swear to God, Bonow had an erection when he was talking about people's cars getting snatched by the state for having bad plates for protesting. Right?
Oh yeah, he was good.
Cheering for it.
He's fully torqued.
Oh, very much so. And I'm like, and listen, when you admit that when you cheer on the positive fuck all that. The confiscation of private property to force people into becoming their quote unquote species being, as Marx put it. Because if you are fully human, if you are a truly social being, then you won't mind riding a train with your fellow human beings, right? You won't mind riding according to what the state provides for you.
And then of course, the less you own, the less power you have, the less, like you said, freedom you have, and then the
Mhm.
state could control you more. Like, hey, maybe you lose your transportation pass for things you said or things you thought that we don't like so much. So,
Oh yeah.
so
Oh yeah, yeah.
cars aren't allowed anymore, or taxed to hell.
Yeah.
So, or the prices are rise on them because they want to make it so you just don't want to buy them anymore. It's too much, and the gas is too much, and the taxes are up. So to you're forced to be a public transportation person, and then they can control you that way if they want. They have cameras on you, and that's another way for the state to have full control and full visibility of you. And it does seem like so much of what the left does, even the progressive left, even the Democrats, is kind of moving in that direction of full state nanny, taking care of everybody, controlling everybody. And yeah, and in discriminating against people who earn their own private property, their own wealth, in a capitalist way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
They don't want a middle class. They want everyone poor, because if you're poor, you can be controlled. If you're poor, you can't. If you're poor, you can't run away, right? If you're fat, you can't run away. Think of all of the degenerate shit that communists have been talking about over the last several years. Fat studies. Why do they want you 500 pounds? Why are they out here saying that losing weight is right wing or fat phobic?
Fitness.
Why exactly? Being physically fit is right wing.
Yeah, and
they
and
want you fat, right? Because
breaking down beauty standards too.
Breaking down beauty standards. Don't get me wrong. I love me a thick girl, right?
I've definitely been known to love me a thick girl as well.
You know, my fiance is the smallest woman I have ever dated in my life. Okay, 5'4", beautiful woman, beautiful. But historically speaking, I've always dated taller, thicker women. Okay, this is just a statement of fact.
So you're not hating?
No hate at all. But this notion that losing weight, I'm 350 pounds. I'm the heaviest I've ever been. I'm 42. I gotta get rid of this shit. Okay, but these assholes out here saying that it's right wing for me to lose weight. But I don't want to get far away from my point. The point, all of the stuff that these people are pushing onto us, okay, it's right wing to be in shape. It's right wing to own a car. It's right wing to have free speech. It's white supremacy culture to love the written word. It's right wing.
Lord of the Rings and
right.
Like some of the old tales.
Right. But yet
classic tales. Even being a Christian, even liking the American flag is right wing and far right or what's the other one? Alt right.
If I am, because everything has to be coded in race.
Can't even be patriotic.
You can't love your country. You must hate your country. You must hate your country, and you must also be ready to tear down your in of some justice. That's what these people are about, dude.
Oh yeah. 100%.
These people are this, but all of this stuff, way your ability to drive, taking private property, when they were trying to stuff illegal immigrants in people's houses, and like Boston, even here in New York, where they were bringing up the yes of letting people come into their house, of adopting an illegal immigrant until some white liberal decided to take this Haitian lady in and basically make her cook dinner for him. And then they're like, "Oh fuck, this is too close to being slavery."
Just like the NFL. Did you hear about that shit? Like from Kaepernick.
Biggest fraud.
What a fucking asshole, huh?
Fraud. That guy. Listen. Colin Kaepernick is the biggest fraud.
Bananas.
And you know what? I really like. We'll talk about him at another time.
We should save.
but-
Yeah, we'll save him for another time.
Yeah, we'll say. Yeah,
Do a
we'll
full
say,
segment. Full segment.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
Yeah. So I think I'll close this segment. I'll close our show with. Actually, I want to get to know you a little bit better. Okay. And this has a lot to do with because your background is in soccer journalism, amongst other things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are pretty infamous in if I can talk about this.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You're pretty infamous in New York City FC circles.
Mm.
You were known, matter of fact, let me just consult what you sent me here. Because I want to make sure I get this right. You're on your Twitter page, your X profile. You are a philosopher, satirist. Oh, wait a minute. Oh shit, this isn't the one. Okay, so yes, you're infamous in New York City FC circles. Okay.
Yeah, I was one of. I mean, I can real quick. I'll give you a little background.
Go ahead, please,
I
please,
was,
please.
yeah, I was like the first guy to a columnist to cover New York City FC specifically, and I was reached out by a smaller publication called Soccer Newsday, which is like I think it's like shut down now. It's shuttered, but like I could send you the link to like see what my old articles. But I was, so I was the first guy to really focus on New York City FC. So because of that, partly because I got a decent following for MLS. I got a decent following, it's not saying that much. Before that, I had like 2,000, 3,000 followers or something, just from New York City FC. And so I was pretty optimistic about New York City FC. I was kind of like a philosopher about the club, talking about like how the club culture can be developed and supporter culture and how the vision. I had a vision for the club, how it could be one of the great clubs in the world because it's New York City, because they have Manchester City's owners, MLS. It's America. The sky's the limit if we raise the spending, the salary cap, all that. So that was kind of like my whole vision for the club, and it rubbed a lot of journalists the wrong way. A lot of bigger journalists, I think they thought I was like biased and stuff, and I was a little biased. I was, but they were too. Like a lot of them were like Red Bull supporters, like closeted Red Bull supporters and stuff, and so they were
closeted Red Bull supporters.
Yeah, and not so closeted. I mean, they kind of admitted it, but they would like say that about me, like, "Oh, you're a New York City FC fan" or whatever. I'm like, whatever. But I was writing about it since 2013, so I had to write about what I thought about what could be made of the club, because there's nothing else to talk about. There was no, they didn't, I think, announce Jason Christ until December 2014 or something like that. And so, there was no players, no, whatever. So I had to like that. And I had stuff I just wanted to say, and I thought that like help. Apparently one of my articles influenced the creation of the badge, the New York City FC badge from Rafael Esquer's thing. I could send you a link over that. Yeah, I'll send over the link. He mentioned like one of the quotes from my page of like what went into the design of it. I'm trying to remember the name of his. Jeez, it's been so long. Rafael Esquer. He's a nice guy. I met him before. Alfalfa. Alfalfa is the Alfalfa New York is a design. I've been to his studio before, but he shouted me out in the New York City FC badge thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll find it for you. But anyways, it's so I was covering the team since 2013, 14-ish, until COVID, about like 2019, really. And right before COVID broke out, I had a podcast in New York City FC Nation called NYCFP, New York City Football Club. I'm sorry, New York City Football Podcast, for a couple years as well, which was pretty successful. I think we had like 300 to 500 listeners per whatever. But you did mention me as being infamous, and I was like, because the Red Bull fans hated me, the New York Cosmos hated me, fans hated me back in like 2013, 14, 15, 16, around that time. And then they started kind of, I think, like just not following me anymore, because they used to try to talk trash and try to intimidate me, and
just so you
Yeah.
know, I'm
Yeah.
playing, like, I'm on New York City FC's Instagram page. I'm just playing it in the background as you talk. So go ahead.
So no, it's all good. So but yeah, so since then, the podcast came to an end, I think, because I was a little bit too opinionated, which I told you before, like, kind of about the woke politics stuff and excesses of the Democrats and stuff like that. And then I think because I was too opinionated, and because New York City is a very Democrat liberal kind of city, populace usually, although it's probably changing a little bit now.
Oh, it's changing.
Yeah, I bet. And but at the time, it's like people weren't ready to hear that, and the support itself is pretty left, right? And most soccer support around the country is pretty left leaning, and New York City was no exception to that. So I think some of the people just kind of they didn't want to hear me talking about certain things anymore, and
So my
I
question
kind of walked
to you
away
is-
from it.
So my question to you is, why is it so left leaning, for one? And for two, do you think that maybe there's a place for alternative, like for guys like us who are not, like, we are not rabid communists, we're not leftists, we're actually anti-communist, but we love our country, we love soccer, we do you think that there is a market for fans like us? And why do you think that why do you think that the fan base is so left leaning?
Well, I think like I said, it's New York. So New York in itself is pretty left leaning, or was, and I'm sure it probably still is in a lot of ways, but less so. It's also younger people. I think younger people tend, at least 5-6 years ago, and for most of the last several decades, I think we're leaning left, like younger people always do, and then they turn conservative later on. Usually, when they get older, they start having responsibilities, have a job, they own things, they have a family, and then they start to see the light. So that's a big part of it. And then you also, it's also very European influence, which tends to be left leaning. It's a South American influence, which also can tend to be left leaning in many ways. So I think all of that goes into it. And of course, the media is super left leaning, so that doesn't help, right? So like, even if it was 60-70% conservative, like, you wouldn't know about that based on all of the media that covers it. All of them are super left leaning, pretty much. Everything's got to be, especially during the Great Awakening, everything had to be about, hey, somebody said something racist, somebody had the wrong flag, somebody, it's like somebody, Me Too and stuff. Somebody did something, and like some of the stuff might be serious, but a lot of it obviously is, and a lot of it's like, somebody flirted with somebody, so they gotta go. And like the thing that happened when your boy Taxi, it's like it's just a lot of horse shit, and people trying to gain power, influence, shut down anybody who disagrees with them, trying to get virtue signaling points, trying to get a lot of retweets because they called out somebody who did something that wasn't accepted by the puritanical woke.
I hate those guys.
Yeah, I hate those people. And I was saying that for years, even when I was still doing New York City FC stuff, and some people agreed, but it's just too much. It's just like, you tell it's insincere. A lot of times they're just wrong, like about their philosophy and opinion, like the gender stuff. It's like telling you that you need to think that a person who identifies as a woman is an actual woman. It's like, they're not an actual woman. So that's nothing, I don't really care, nothing against trans people or whatever, but they're not an actual woman. And it's like, they're just not the same thing. That's a fact. They're not the same as a biological, adult woman. And of course, what they're doing with kids is terrible, like in schools and stuff. So it's like, but saying things like that out loud, which is true and right, I think, and will be in history be seen to be right, is like, oh my God, you hate trans people, you hate gay people somehow. It's like, I don't hate anybody. I really don't hate anybody. I don't really care what adults do, as long as they're not harming children or harming other people. You want to do, you want to do whatever you want to do it. But it's like, just saying that kind of stuff became like such a, it's like it's such a third rail. to take from the New York City FC's name, supporter's name, but that's what it became. And it's like people got scared to speak their minds.
Yeah.
And like, I kind of got banished because I spoke my mind. So I see it, I get it. But I made a decision not to. Life's too short to not speak my mind and say the truth and say what I think needs to be said, just so I can stay on a soccer podcast or whatever. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that. But yeah, to answer your question, to answer your question. Of course, I think there is definitely opportunity in a space for people who don't agree with that shit and who could be, who are right leaning or just moderate or just don't want to hear it. Maybe they're even Democrats or liberals, but they don't like that woke stuff. They don't like to constantly be focused on racism and sexism and transphobia and all this bullshit every time. They just want to watch a soccer game. They want to watch the season. They want to have fun and drinking.
That's all we wanted.
We have an escape from that. We need like everybody constantly telling us what we can and can't say. We policing our jokes. It's like, let men have a place to freaking joke around and and women who are cool to go joke around, have fun, yell, act like assholes, act like, be a little tribal, whatever.
By the way, just real quick, I want to show you what Taxi's doing right now. So Taxi's playing for this club in Greece. And this was his finish. This was his latest goal. I think it was either yesterday or Friday. Listen, check this out. I don't.
Ooh, smooth.
Taxi's killing it out there.
Magnums. Is he a striker?
He is,
yeah.
But 7. He's more of a 7 than anything.
Okay, so reserve striker.
Yeah. But if Ophi uses like a, hold on, I'll show you something else from them just real quick. Do I still have this up? Okay, yeah, stand by real quick. I'm about to bring this up.
What was the line? Stand back and stand by. Is that what the?
What?
Remember, I think was that. Let me see. Let me look that up. What Trump said to the Proud Boys, apparently, and the media tried to make it sound like he was.
Yeah.
He was like dog whistling him or something. Stand back and stand by.
Right. Like, fuck you, bro. Like, fuck out of here. Okay, hold on. Here it is without that music.
When was this?
2 days ago.
2 days ago. There he is. Oh, he's a Crete.
Yeah, Ophi Crete. Yeah.
Oh,
look at that. So he stopped. So he stops the switch. Look at that, man.
Like butter.
Dude, again, it pisses me off. That's his 7th goal for Ophi. For Ophi. It's incredible to me.
He could be doing it at DC United.
He could be doing it at DC United.
But
he could be doing it at some other club.
But somebody had a virtue
New York
signal.
City. But
somebody had the virtue signal. So we can't have. That's why we can't have nice things.
Listen, we are going to have a big show about Taxi Fountas. Okay, I have been planning this. I'm gonna need your help with it. Okay, I'm just letting you know so we can lay it out properly.
Are we gonna have him on?
I want to,
English,
but
he doesn't speak English.
He speaks English, but it's not great in his opinion. I think his English is fine, but I do want to have him on. I do want to have him on a live one day.
Maybe a short little segment so he doesn't sweat too much.
Yeah. I don't want him.
No, that'd be good. That'd be good to go over that.
Yeah, I want him here. Okay, like I want him here back in the United States. That man is owed an apology. His wife and son.
You think he actually wants to come back after that bullshit?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he probably doesn't. He's probably
personally like if someone offered him
the money.
It's been a couple years. If someone offered him the right money, because he's definitely fucking worth it. He's one of the. He is like he was. I'll show you a couple of his goals from. Oh, excuse me. I'll show you a couple of his goals from.
Oh, he's only 29 too.
Yeah, he's a young dude. He's a young dude. But hold on. Wait a minute. Reels. Here we go. Ophie has the most dramatic fucking.
Wow. He made CNN.com. I'm looking at Google. And
Really?
He's number. Yeah, look him up. Look up his name on Google, and I see him as the third on CNN. DC United and Taxi agree to end his contract after credible allegations.
Credible allegations.
And then MLS Soccer. Then it says on ESPN.com leaves after racism allegations. So that's fucked up. You know, it's like his first. It's like the first 5 or 6. Yeah, most of them on the page are about that.
Abhorrent.
That's fucked up.
Abhorrent.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Absolutely abhorrent.
People look him up. That's the
first thing. That's the first thing they're going to see.
Yeah.
Is yeah. Again, like this is something. So look at this, right? Hold on. So this is. Can you see that? Okay.
Yep.
So it looks like Ophie uses a 4-2-1-3. I think that's what that looks like to me in terms of formation. So like he's right behind the center forward.
So he's like a center attack mid or second forward.
Yeah, but he's naturally he's a number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally he's a 7. So he'll do like he can move either way, but as you see, like he's fast. He's extremely fast. I have not seen too many, like he's literally one of the fastest players I've ever seen in Major League Soccer. And let me see here.
Yeah, and if you could finish and you can do some playmaking, that's a great.
Bro, he had a
great combo.
Trick. Yeah, he had this guy. He's a scorer. He's a finisher. And I want to show you this. Let me see. I want to show you this. Oh. Hold on. Because he was with Rapid Vienna. Sideline reports. You know what? I will fight. Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to find this. Is it? Did I close this out? Okay, good. Stand by. I'm just trying to. All right, so I'm going to show you first half dream debut. This is from what year is this? 2 years ago. So this is April 24th, 2022. This is his debut game. This is off of Major League Soccer's website. Well, this is the YouTube channel. I can show YouTube, at least I think. Okay. Let me go back to. All right. I want to show this. Here we go. This is
Julian Gressel arrives and serves. Now Futas coming through.
look at that.
It's in the net.
Was that Navali?
It's in the net.
Yeah.
And serves. Julian Gressel arrives and serves. Now Futas.
Nice.
Oh, it's in the net.
Nice.
It's in the net. And it's in the net. Welcome to DC.
Yeah, it's harder than it looks doing that.
That's what he does. Julian Gressel, stay active, stays involved, put a lovely ball in. It's headed out
and the confidence of
Now
Funtas to just take
that
it
was
out
the
of the
first
air.
goal.
The quality, the technical ability, the class to get his first goal for DC United in this fashion. Brad Knighton didn't see it, maybe could react it better, but you love a player like Funtas.
Funtas.
Here we go. Watch the speed.
Taxi. Gressel, what up?
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Taxi Funtas. The cross.
Nice. Great ball.
Michael
Great run and great ball, man. Yeah, you miss a player like that, man. It's too bad some virtue signaling cunts had to ruin that.
You have no idea how
That's so annoying.
This man has become my friend. Okay, he is my little brother from Greece. And hold on. I know I put this. Hold on. Let me just close this out. Stand by. We're almost done, by the way. So my guy, No Bike, it goes by @NoBikeLanes. His cyclists are insufferable, reckless, whiny, and overall not liked. They make up 1% of the population. Why are we changing the street grid to accommodate them? Hold on, Jim Walden. Oh, this is interesting. Jim Walden, who's another mayoral candidate. I just want to read this real quick since it got my attention. Cyclists versus others. I'm reading from his. So this morning, I was reflecting on that infamous Prospect Park West case where I sued to remove a bike lane because DOT and Brad Lander lied. Brad Lander's the New York City comptroller, lied about the safety data. And I got to think how callous the DOT commish and Brad Lander were towards seniors and the disabled who were scared about the lane, and how self-righteous they were about cycling. So I wanted to share this perspective from New York City, from NYC Access for All, check them out, which is important to remember. Quote, less than 1% of 8.47 million New Yorkers commute by bicycle. 11% of New York City residents have a disability. There are 1.1 million older adults in New York City, making up 13% of the population. The DOT's policy of prioritizing cyclists over seniors and the disabled is not providing access for all New Yorkers. It's worth some thinking. He's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Now, let me just go to, hold on a second. Because I made a video. I actually clipped it. My clips. Here we go. Now, I want to set some context. This is July 8th, 2023. Okay? I was at this game. This game would end up being Taxi's last home game with DC United. Okay? And I want to show you this. Like this is good stuff. Hold on. Did I share it? Okay, it's on here. All right, here we go.
A lot of players to get a lot more minutes than they thought at this point of the season. As Assad laying it off for Dahomey. Taxi Funtas! Severino!
Nice.
It off for Dahomey. Taxi
Beautiful.
Funtas! Severino!
Do you understand the class?
That was a great first
was
touch.
always
He had
going to be
a
him.
small window to shoot that between
Now-
the two defenders.
Now, I want you to notice
A lot of-
something. Now, this is just a little bit more context for you, because I'm going to let this roll again. This is against Inter Miami at home.
Was that Messi there yet or no?
No.
Okay.
Messi wasn't here yet. This is from 2023. So we're going. So this is going on 2 years ago.
Okay.
the very first allegations against Taxi Fountas were made by Phil Neville, who was the coach at the time. He had alleged that Damian Lowe had been called the N-word by Taxi. Okay. This was a way to get him off the field. Okay.
Oh.
So, and what ended up happening was it blew up because what's that asshole's name?
Pablo?
DeAndre Yedlin,
Wow.
who was on the opposite end of the fucking pitch when this took place, decided to be the loudmouth and the virtue signal about racism, right? He decided to go into the anti-racist work. So,
oh boy,
MLS did their investigation. They stalled on the investigation. MLS did. When they finally released the results, and I want to save some of this for the next time we talk, for our next episode. But this guy, they said that that the allegations were credible. They didn't find any evidence. But again, we're talking about people who are working backwards, okay? They start from, understand, communism is also like this, where they start from they start from a process, and then you work your way around back to the original conclusion, okay? The snake eating its own tail, the Ouroboros. And that's how they started with the allegation, and they figure, well, since black people never lie about allegations of racism, automatic assumption, it's the most racist shit in the world. Automatic assumption, oh, black people never lie about this.
It's just like the Me Too one. Believe all women.
Exactly.
As if all women constantly are just telling the truth no matter what. They can't lie.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
So he had gotten cleared. And I was the only person in, like, who actually stuck by Taxi. I'm the only one who used his platform to publicly defend Taxi. Taxi was defended by a lot by other people too. He was defended by a lot of black and Latino people who we watched the same news that they did, because the refs at the game who were officiating that game all said we didn't see anything. So it was like, what the hell? What's going on here? Right? So then the investigation comes back, it clears him. And again, I'm not going to get too deep into it because we'll be here another hour. So Taxi wrote to me and thanked me personally. But I'm gonna play this again because there's context to this. I get emotional thinking about this because it really didn't have to be this way. It really didn't. This guy was the best player.
Players to get a lot more minutes than they thought at this point of the season. As Assad
back heel
laying it off for Dahomey. Taxi Fountas, Severino. It was always going to be him.
So this is the first game after the allegations. I think it was the second game. I'm not sure. So he's walking over to where where the away section, where Inter Miami supporters are.
I see.
Okay. And they're high up.
And that's 2 goals in 2 games for the Greek international.
Russell Knaus, I know him. He's a good man. And he's unfortunately he's still without club at the moment, but that was his last game. That was his last home game. And the last game that he scored. Okay? I'm going to show you something else. I was at that game. I got to meet him. Okay? I'm going back to, hold on. Hang on a sec, dude. Because Me and my girl, we get around, bro. Just looking at like all our pictures and shit.
Oh, traveling? Yeah.
Yeah, we
That's
are
good.
we always go like we go back and forth from. So, all right. So, I'll share this. I think I showed you this picture, right?
Yes, I've seen this.
Yeah. So, in my hand, in my right hand, is not only my little pouch, right? But also he gave me a gift. And I'm gonna show it to you right now. You probably see it right behind my head, but I'm gonna get up and grab it real quick. Stand by. All right, you still there?
Yep.
Okay. He gave me his game worn jersey that night.
Oh, that's nice, man. That's a real honor.
I want people to know something, right? He gave this to me. It's the highest honor I've ever received, one of the highest honors I've ever received. I still, when like, I intend to frame this, okay? I haven't framed it yet, but until I get a frame for it, that man's jersey will hang in this sunroom in one way, shape, or form because he was done quite wrong. He was done quite wrong. And I am not going to stop until his I'm not going to stop until his name is cleared.
That's good.
I know it's and again we'll talk about it some more in another episode because I want to go over this if you don't mind because I know you said you didn't.
Yeah, no, I mean I wouldn't mind hearing the full case, you know, as it were, like timeline and like details of, you know, what's the what exactly happened, what was claimed, who are some of the characters, you know, for and against. And I think it's, you know, it's worthwhile to clear a man's name, you know, if he deserves to be cleared, and it sounds like he does. I don't know the full story. I could see how that would happen. And especially, I mean, if they did that, you think just to remove him out of the game, that's really fucked up.
I do.
But people do that, you know, people have done that before for different, you know, different ways to get people out of the way, to get people out of a certain position. In the corporate world or in politics, you know, they're very happy, especially from the left. You see that they're very happy to destroy reputations. It's one of their main weapons.
So what we'll do?
It's fucked up.
So then what I'm gonna do is that if you don't mind, because I'll do a quick shameless plug because I do want to wrap this up.
Yeah.
But I am starting a soccer podcast. You are welcome to come on to it. You are welcome to join me as a guest at any time. Okay. Cool. The podcast is called the Sleeping Eagles Podcast. I want to offer an alternative to the whole podcasting, the commentariat that DC United has had for many years. They don't have. It's basically been RFK refugees and a few smaller podcasts, but they're all very much woke. They're very much like, you know, like I'll share a couple episodes with you. In fact, I'll share one of the ones that I really went in on. Maybe I'll post it one day. Where last year the club went to Saudi Arabia, and all of the supporter groups were just like up in arms about it. So anyways, we'll talk about that. But I want to thank you for joining me. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, it's been great. I want to thank you for having me, man.
Of course, dude. No, listen, you are more than welcome anytime. In fact, I would we'll talk some more about this because I want this to be a regular thing. Because you're
oh yeah, me too.
I think this is a good lane for you, a good lane for us. I think this is good, dude. I'm glad to have you back. I'm glad to have you on here, and I'm glad to get you back in the podcasting game.
Back in the swing of things, man. I've been in exile too long, man.
Do you need to learn how to kick a ball again? Like do you need to?
I think I always need to learn how to do that, but
bro, same here. Shit, oh man, like I need to get
rusty.
back training. Yeah, I'm a little rusty too, especially since like I haven't played my natural position in a little while.
What's your natural position?
Forward. I am a striker normally, but being 350 pounds, kind of hard to do. Yeah. So I've been goalkeeping basically, which has worked out great. You know, it's fun.
You do what you can do, man.
I do what I can do, but bro, I'm like a fucking like Escalade out there on in net, dude. Like like that big like just a big Cadillac Escalade, like fucking. Like a Ford. Remember the old Ford Excursions?
Yeah, like a Range.
That's me. That's me, dude. That's fucking me. Anyways, thank you all for joining me. Thank you for this first of many Sunday Night Lives with my guy over here. Please make sure to like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And next week, hopefully, I will have the show on X where more people can watch. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nostra Chavez. I appreciate you. Have a great night, and I will talk to you all soon. Peace.
Thanks, everybody.